we are here today to describe to talk about the advertising in the intercultural marketing communication. We are going to analyze today two case studies, and the first case study is an example about how the communication can be oriented depending on the source and the objective of the communication of the message. In the following two texts, we are illustrating two different the characteristics of the view from two different point of view about the new Borovets Sky Resort in Bulgaria. The source of the first text is the French magazine Actuel, and the objective is to inform the tourist about the new possibility to travel in the East Europe. The second text is an article from the Bulgarian State Tourist Corporation, and the objective is to advertise and to convince the tourists from the West Europe to travel and to visit the new pearl of East Europe.
Go ahead.
Alright, there are three questions we had to answer for the case of a Bulgarian ski resort. The first question was to discuss the difference between the first and second text. The first text comes from a French magazine. There they illustrate Bulgaria. Like if you go there, they don't have a lot of high quality for your vacation. They say there are water shortages and telephones are out of order. So they really illustrate what is really going on if you would go there on a holiday. And the second text is the opposite, and it's a little bit exaggerating what is really going on. They even compare it with Switzerland and France, that you can go skiing there. So there is a big difference, and in the second one the government really, because they were in need of money, they wrote this kind of text to appeal Western tourists because they really expect some high standards for their vacation. So it doesn't really refer to the same reality. Then the second question, how can one get the idea of level of service in this resort? Well, we thought maybe if you give the hotel a rank, for example, you can rank the service with a star, and some tourists prefer just one aspect, so if it has like 3 stars it will be more appealing, and they don't really care about that the other parts have 1 star. So that would be an idea to rank the accommodation. And last and final question was, how should the state company of Bulgaria communicate? Well, they should have given a more realistic way of what tourists can expect, and they should just, well, for example, they can say they have 150 days of snow because it's a fact, and they shouldn't tell the tourists that they are they are as well as Switzerland. They should leave it out there. This prevented them from doing so because at the time they made this advertisement they were really in need of money, so it was actually kind of an emergency, so that's why it got prevented. And that's it.
Well, the second case we had to do is about slogans and speech. We have collected some slogans which we have translated into other languages using the translation techniques, back translation, parallel translation, and a combination of the two. We also compared the propositions and the concept of these slogans. And the slogans we used for this exercise were the one from McDonald's.
And in the first case, we analyzed given slogan, a yet existing slogan of the Budweiser beer, that in English is Budweiser, the king of beers, and we tried to test the message effectivity if the message would be translated in other languages. We translated it into several, actually in German, in Dutch, in Italian, and in French and Spanish. And therefore, we get that this slogan could be effective if translated into Germanic languages, as beer is a male noun into these languages, while into Romantic languages the word birra, bière, or cerveza is female, so that translating the main message, that is the king of beer, into the queen of beer, would be of course much less effective, as beer is mainly a product consumed by far by a huger percentage of men over women, so that it would probably be a good strategy to translate it into Romantic language too. For what concerns the international slogans, we analyzed the McDonald's ones and another from L'Oreal, and they are both of course already existing. And the McDonald's, I'm loving it, it's pretty interesting, as the communication strategies used were really different. For instance, in French and in German, there was a linguistic adaptation. They translated the slogan "I'm loving it" into "C'est tout ce que j'aime" in French, and in Dutch in "Ich liebe es," because probably, even though in French the slogan turns out to be a bit long, it would really adapt perfectly and suit perfectly the French conservative and nationalistic attitude towards food. In German, it's very short and effective.